Well, what's happening? This is the one and only, your guy, Big Pontiac. It's Responsible Daddy Hour. So just sitting here chilling, waiting for the little one to come out. Then I'm gonna head to work after I pick her up. It ain't really raining, but it's cool, wet, and so might as well pick her up and gave me a chance to come on here and do a little rapping because I'm not doing a show tonight. Monday nights and Tuesday nights is my day off. I'll be back Thursday morning, of course. Tomorrow night, Wednesday midnight. But yeah, this is Big Pontiac coming at you with Responsible Daddy Hour. So whenever you check this out, uh, this is uh, this is for positive parenting, positive being adults. Stocks crashed a little bit this morning because the Feds say they're gonna go up another. They're gonna keep it at 5% or 0.5 for June and July meetings. So there was a little bit of panic, and then everything kind of leveled off. When I was leaving at home, everything was leveled off. Everything was up. Bitcoin took quite a jump. Bitcoin went up $264. Ethereum was about $30, $40. Gold is still holding around 18. Well, it says 1861. It seemed like silver. When I left, silver had jumped up to $22. Remember, we had a high of silver up at 29. Remember, gold was up 1900, so still down from those levels. Gas was 110. Wendy's is good stock. Wendy's might be taking over. The majority shareholder might buy Wendy's. The other one was Kohl's. Kohl's is another one to watch. Looks like they might be taking over. So those of you that watch the numbers, these are some things to look at. These are some things to consider. Wow, this collar make me look like I ain't got no neck. Because future investing it should be part of your consideration of generational wealth. One thing, the stock market, you invest long term. Like I have one of my exes. A lot of my exes is in their 40s now, and I remember 15, 16 years ago telling her about Roth IRA. I was like, you really should set this up. I was too old at the time because I was in my 40s, but she was still like in her early 30s. And I was like, you might want to get into this because, when you retire, you can, get this money without any penalty. And of course she didn't. She just got a regular 401k from different works. But I was like back then telling her that was worth investing in. To be able to draw that money out without getting taxed, So just some things to look at. I guess I'm gonna start here. Back when 2010, when I was going through my divorce, it was like I got really hit with some whammies. My ex-wife had stolen all my furniture out of my house. She had stolen my children, technically, and my car got totaled, and I lost my job. All this happened in a matter of like 3 weeks. So, I'm living in my house. And this is what was funny is while we were separated, I was dating this other woman. And this other woman like needed some place to put all her furniture. She had another furniture. And so I had a 2-car garage. At the time, we only had, 1 car. So I filled up half my garage with this furniture that, really she didn't want. And so when she stole all my furniture, I just was able to bring this furniture back into the house. So I had furniture. So it wasn't a great loss. As much as I held on to the job or tried to hold on to the job, again, unemployment just wasn't giving me as much as working, of course, no overtime and unemployment. I had to short sell my house. And so I ended up living with my mother for about 6 months. And all through going through the divorce. Now, I've told the story before. When I was going through the divorce, when my first day of court, my first day of court, I was still working. My ex had 2 lawyers, 2 advocates. It's just me. And things didn't look good. Things really didn't look good. They looked bleak for me, but I never gave up. I still went at it. And then within weeks, I was able to get a lawyer. And really, I tell this story to tell this. Despite all those upsetting, I never gave up on my children. I never gave up on myself. I keep plotting away, plotting away. And I was telling my son the other day, I remember the last day, my last court date. Again, I got my lawyer, and it was like 20 grand because family court. And, every time you call your lawyer, it's just money's, money's, money's. But anyway, at the end, my ex had flunked 2 drug tests. I hadn't flunked any. And we're sitting in the court. So my final day in court, everything, I got my children back. And so because the child protective CPS had went in and taken the children out of her house and evaluated us, ended up giving them back to me. So I go to my final day of court. I had to ride the bus. So I'm wearing a suit and tie on the bus to go to my court date. So I ride, and it was funny, when you live in the suburbs, you got to take a bus to go here, wait here. It was that kind of deal, but it's smooth. So finally takes me downtown. Because the divorce was, so we went from divorce court. It got ended in divorce court. The divorce was granted. We still had to go through the final motions of children's court. So, I wear my suit and tie, go in there, and they just pretty much gave me the children, gave me all the paperwork. Everything is signed off. And I just remember walking out of there. And despite me not having a car at the time, I just remember walking out of that court with my head high. And so I did not let these things that would, a lot of people would have looked at it as a lost cause. Well, I knew that I had a lot of fight in me, and I still believed in me, and I knew I still could prevail, and I did prevail. And I just remember the feeling of, despite, imagine, I got to still catch the bus back home. And what's funny is I ended up meeting a chick that I dated for a minute on the bus, So the moral of the story is just never give up. If you think your cause is just, ADT, yeah, head held high. Exactly, DT. My head was held high. I didn't give up. And I know this is an old reference, but George Jefferson had a way of walking when things went his way. And that's kind of how I felt. Because he swung his arms and that's kind of how I felt when I walked out. It was like a George Jefferson feeling, and these people get in your business, they get in your business. So, and it's like I told the story before, my best friend was not getting along with his wife. And I just laid it out. I said, this is what you're going to expect. Now, if you want this life, this is how it's going to go. Now, if that's cool with you, that's what to expect. That's how your life going to be. And so, he ended up not leaving his wife. And now, as I said, I get this car. He brings his 18 or 19 Audi, one of them 4-door quadros. I forget what it's called, but it's I'm happy for him. They have a nice, beautiful house. And then our daughters are 2 weeks apart. Hey, Dred, how you doing, man? Ain't seen you in a while. Hey, Derek, how you doing? We smoke a Luca Pax Thursday. Yeah, I'll tell you, I'm going to look at the parlays. The one brother that does gematria showed a nice parlay from the Mavericks winning and the numbers. And I think he hit that parlay. You can get to basketball, you can get hockey. So the gematria kind of can tell a story. There's a lot of stories to pick up on the betting. I would say out of seeing the fixed sports, this is the best time to understand fixed sports and understand how they think and understand, as I said, the big head Jakob, the big head dude that's fixing these sports on the fly. So it's just outsmarting him. That's the basis, is knowing it's fixed. As I said, wrestling Ben came out. They made wrestling come out 20 years ago. Eventually, the other sports are going to have to come out too. Because they keep, if you read the old books like Interception, that old book, I think it's Rod Freeman. One thing, Pete Rozelle, Bowie Q, all the old commissioners was the integrity of the game is going to change. And, Doherty, the ref that they said was cheating. And remember, the old commissioner of the NBA, that sucker, when they told him that they was being investigated. He slipped the information that wasn't really, it was arrestable when he did it, but he warned the rest of his referees that the FBI was investigating the NBA refs. And that old commissioner technically did something illegal. And they could have got him, but they let it go. But he warned everybody else, look, they coming after us. Warning. And one thing Doherty told you is the worse the referee, the higher he went up. The quicker he went up to supervisor. The more crooked, Joey Crawford, the ex-snitch. Hey, Dr. Sinister, thank you for joining. Ex-snitch. Joey Crawford was a mafia dude. And the way they protected him was making him an NBA ref. And then this dude, not being thankful, still got that mafia in him. He was cheating the NBA. He was getting first class tickets, turning them in, and not counting it. So they got him a double whammy. They got him for fraud and they got him for tax failure to show all his taxes that he got. He got something like 70, 80,000 in these kickbacks from turning these tickets in. If y'all remember that or not. And he only got suspended for a month or so. The NBA was like, don't do that again. So, and I want to bring up another point that I don't think anybody's talking about. Now, one thing is good is plenty of work. Plenty of work. Plenty of money. I know Sub-Zero was hitting, talking about how the printing of money causes inflation. But one thing that people ain't looking at is we could be in a depression. We really could be in a depression. If you look at the prices of gas, the prices of home went up. We are kind of like in a depression. I don't know if anybody considering that. Now, the only difference is there are jobs during the depression. See, the depression did some things that people don't realize is they pulled all the cash out. Do you understand that? That's what the depression did. These elites pulled all the cash out the system. Now, remember, middle of the depression, Roosevelt made everybody turn their gold in. So if you had any solid gold, Roosevelt took it. They would even, I told this story many times, they would even, if somebody snitched on you and said you got gold in the safe deposit box, they was snatching that. They was breaking into your shit, breaking into your house, raiding people's shit, breaking into their safes, trying to get that gold. Even as a jewelry owner, you can only have so much gold. And then they're replacing it with these dollars where, that gold's going to hold its price. And gold really we should be on the gold standard. But really, America, and this is the thing, to follow the yellow brick road, America was the biggest provider of silver until probably the mid 1800s. We was the biggest provider of silver. So America is the country of silver. And look what they did to silver. As I told the story before about Bunker Hunt. Bunker Hunt said, okay, if you say silver is only worth about 20, 30 cents a share, I'm buying all the silver. And that's what Bunker Hunt did. And Bunker Hunt cornered the market. And they wanted to arrest him for that shit. He just played their game. He was like, okay, you saying the silver ain't worth shit, I'm taking it all. Bunker Hunt is from the Hunt family that owns the Kansas City Chiefs, but they also own oil. In JFK's movie, they try to show that there's a discussion at Daddy Hunt's house about the JFK assassination. Again, sending you down a rabbit hole. Rev Donahue coming out with a documentary soon will be out. There's a movie. Netflix had a movie I watched last winter, maybe last September, but there's already a movie about it too. There's a movie that shows he was doing it. So you can look that one up too. It's called, I think, Rev or Donahue, whatever. But it's a movie about it already. So, but as he said, again, read the book. The book is really worth it. He says things because, again, he don't want to be killed. Keep that in mind. He didn't want to be killed. So that's part of the consideration. Is only so much he can say. Because they you still want to work the rest of your life, don't you? And that's how they kind of do it. It's like you tell too much, despite we making you the bad guy. Everybody's hitting me up. Oh, I want to say a shout out to Nick Taylor, shout out to Ciova. Ciova showed that about my magnets, and he showed the face I would make. So shout out to you if you ever get to see this, brother Nick too. for the positive word, super slide too. But it's something that, you know, I've been harping on for years. Shit, since 17. You know, they killed my other channel that had, you know, since 17 videos of me showing basket manipulation. So I'm glad. Shout out to Lobo. Lobo, you know, I was on the phone. I saw the shot stuck up there, but I was on the telephone. I wasn't really paying attention. But I've showed that kind of thing before. Somebody had one from years and years ago doing the same thing. It's just staying up there, you know, where they hold the mag. And it's a mocking. It mocks us. That's what it is. When they show the ball hanging up like that, it's mocking the people, showing how they love our product no matter what. And Lobo says something I'm agree with too. Lobo says something very interesting. And what Lobo said that it was easy to tell the manipulation during the bubble. I hadn't even thought about that. And that's a hell of a point. It was easier to tell the manipulation because of the bubble. And I would agree. It really was. The sound is the biggest thing that people forget about the manipulation, is the sound it makes. It makes a different sound. There's a boom, and you just didn't hear that before. And my argument is, when people argue about it, what they don't realize is I go back to the first generation of breakaway rims. The first generation back in summer of 79 was the first time I played on breakaway rims. So as I said before, the technology, it appeared like they could only control 1 or 2 shots a game, the early missile guidance manipulation system. It was first Don Nelson shot. They was able to help that shot. And of course, when Jerry West ties the game with the Knicks, when he damn near throws it from the other end. So that's how long the system's been up. We're in a recession right now, no doubt. But you're right. There are a lot of jobs. There are. Like my job, no background check. It ain't nothing to stop me from getting it. No drug test. You know who's hurting is temp agencies are hurting. And temp agencies ain't necessary. As I said before, temp agencies used to be for secretaries, secretarial pool. I know for younger people that ain't a thing, but that's what temp agencies used to be. Women that you know had those office skills could go fill in if people took off. That was the point of it. And I told you how sinister they used it in Battle Creek, Michigan. When they brought on these Japanese company, they promised them they only had to hire so many people permanently, and they was going to have a bunch of temp agencies to keep people. And we're reading this paperwork. This is an attack against citizens. Let me put my number out there. This was an attack against the citizens. That just was allowed. Oh, here we go. I'll just hold it. So the citizens was attacked. Citizens was attacked by a promise of not having permanent jobs. If you can dig that. And so how does a city do that against its citizens? A city of only 50,000 people. And you telling jobs that, you know, because most temp agencies, 90 days, you're supposed to get hired. Well, temp agencies was stalling that. You get fired for no reason. And so that's one thing that's getting attacked. You just go to companies and apply. You don't even have to apply with the temp agencies. You go to the companies. So that's one good riddance. Temp agencies should go back to being secretarial pools. So, but yeah, I'll say we're in a recession too, but in some ways, I mean, houses, as I said before, the house that I had looked at was, lawyers said everything was good before the injunction was put in. The house was 7,000 square feet. And if I could have got that house and flipped it now, I could have sold that house for 1.4. 1.4. This is how you can't even find houses like that anymore. With 7,000 square feet for under $1 million, that don't exist. Around here where I live, all these houses, there's 3,500, 4,000, 5,000 square feet, going for way into the millions. And these houses was 800,000 a few years ago. So this is how much the market has jumped. So that's why my lawyers be calling me. I'm like, man, until you send me a check, don't tell me to go fuck with these people, because I ain't bothering my realtor. My realtor still sends me houses. I'm looking for land too, you know. So there's a couple places that look promising, but And that's my thing is, you get stuck now buying these houses for them prices, and then this stuff hits again, then prices of them houses gonna go back down. So that's the thing is you be holding, a negative bag. So that's the cautiousness that you got to be in. So, but of course, buy what you can afford. What time is it? Keeping track of time. Okay, should be here in a minute. But yeah, I just want to come on a little short session for going to work. Again, I'm not gonna be on tonight. Probably catch the fourth quarter of the game. I get off at 9, so I'll be home about 9:15. It'll take me 10-15 minutes to get to work. So, so if I see anything that happens, that's why I thought Wiggins' shot was more important than showing the one holding the magnet. But again, I wasn't really paying attention. I could have rewound. I said something that Kenny Smith be hedging sometimes, because Kenny Smith said every time he played in the game where it was a delay, the team came back and won. So Kenny Smith's the same one that described the second half of the North Carolina game. He said, well, the only way they can lose is if they throw a bunch of turnovers. And what happened? Hey, DT, peace. What did he say? That's what Kenny Smith said. Now, I rewound it. I could not find that part during the game where he said that, because it was at halftime. Like, I just couldn't find it. I was rewinding. But that's what he said. So I was like, this dude be hedging. So he's kind of hedging his bet a little bit. They didn't come back last night. However, they point shaved. They point shaved to make the game come close, to make it look good and make the game look fair on paper. But on action, the game was a blowout. And that makes it a poor script. That makes it a terrible script. So it's like they can't control the games. The only way they can control the games is if they blowouts all of a sudden. Do you notice that? Oh, lotion. I need lotion on my hands. That's the only way. The new way to control games is through blowouts. So we're going to put all these blowouts together, and this is how the games is controlled. I mean, it's some bullshit. They're not enjoyable. It is a poor product. But it seems like for some reason they're losing some kind of control, it appears. So I don't know. I don't know what it is, why they think that's not good television. That doesn't make the games exciting. That doesn't make you want to watch the games. It's the opposite. Makes you want to ignore them, because the games are so bad. I've been turning to see hockey. Like last night, I wasn't even paying attention because the game was a blowout. So, but the green shot again was a mocking, showing you, yes, we control this stuff, but you love it anyway. You love it anyway. I was watching the NBA today on ESPN, and they was like, well, still the most exciting plays in basketball isn't the three-point play, it's the layups and the dunks. Well, they've created a monster. And the big goofy dude Perkins said he went to AAU to watch his sons play, and this goes to all the lower levels, where the lower levels do go to the hole instead of the dude releasing the layup, the dude kick it out to the open three. I mean, this is what they're teaching the children to play. This is how they're teaching the children to play, not developing them skills of going to the hole and shooting the layups. They develop in the school. You only go to the hole to collapse everybody, and then you kick it to the three. Now, I know mathematically the threes add up quicker, but percentage-wise still counts. And so percentage of a dunk is almost 100%. Layups, is a higher percent. So it's creating a lot of bad habits. Now you can say, well, it's creating better shooters, but that was always a thing. Shooters has always been a part of the game. A lot of shooters don't develop the mid-range game because they just want to throw up threes. And so you got cats now, that's like when I make fun of Giannis. They didn't develop his mid-range game, which to me, that would have made more sense. Develop his mid-range game first, then try to make us believe he can hit threes with that funny old come up. It's mechanics. It's like the half-court heave by the Cleveland dude. And I get frustrated because I've made so much work that I get frustrated of showing more. But the dude from Boston that did the half-court heave, he brought the ball from here. He threw it. If you got to bring the ball from here to launch it, that's a throw. And that's why it hit the backboard, because, again, they can zero it in and then hit the backboard, bring it in. But he didn't really shoot it. He threw it. He heaved it from here. Go back and look. He heaved it from here. And so I get a little frustrated because I've been showing this for so long, you know. I've been showing this kind of thing for so long that people should get it. But even though people get it, as I've always said, people don't care. Hey, Nicole B, thank you for joining. People don't care. People don't care. It's like wrestling. Once oh, there she is. Once wrestling was shown to be funny, people still love wrestling. You know, it ain't something that people got. People didn't quit liking it. They still liked it. And so it's going to be the same thing once the football and basketball and baseball. All these cars here turned into one lane, and the left, there's so many cars lined up you can't really see. But I'm going to go behind the truck. People waiting to pick up their children. So I guess it's raining a little bit. It's chilly up here. It's 48 degrees. It's May, what? May 20, what's it, 25th? What's the date? Yeah. May 25th, and it's 48 degrees. Yes, tell me all about it, honey. Tell me.
So I got to go like see the rooms that like they give you the room.
Okay.
And I got to see this cool artifact that was like this like temple and everything.
Okay.
It was made out of wood. And I got to talk and
Okay, Lakota I think is the name of the language, but okay. So you went on the reservation. Huh? You was on the reservation?
Kind of. I don't know. Mini means water.
Yeah.
Sota means like clouds.
Okay.
And Z is
okay. I think your Uncle Joey can speak a little Lakota because that's kind of a Sioux language too. And I think Uncle Joey knows a little bit of how to speak that. Okay, well, that's beautiful.
Oh, and money is like mesquite. So like Scott.
Oh.
And then for girls to say hello is hi, and for boys to say hello is like who.
Okay. That big ass eagle. Woo! You see that eagle? Whoa! That sucker was huge. Oh, there he is again. White bottom. Oh my goodness. Oh, that little bird. He must be messing with the little bird trying to take its eggs or the babies or something. Damn, that eagle is huge. Its wings had to be 7 foot. Had to be 7 feet. It had a
crow.
Huh?
Did you hear
it? It made a noise? No, I didn't hear it. Tore up all these roads through here. I gotta take the long way home. Oops. Oh, this dude going home. It's a sheriff live on the street. He must be going home. Must have just got off. Yeah, he lives up there. If that's him. Or deputy sheriff. He's a deputy sheriff. Yeah, he going home. Keep people from speeding around this area though. All right, dear. I love you. I'll call you around 7.
See you later.
All right, see you.
Good day.
Thank you, dear. I love you. Lock up. I got her trained good. As soon as she go in the house, she locked the door. She locked her mother out one time for about an hour because she went in the house, took groceries in, went and took a shower. And her mom's like, ah. But her mom always leaving her keys and shit. Well, I think I'm gonna let that be a day. Come check me out tomorrow. I'll be on tomorrow morning, Chocolate Mountain Show at Thursday morning, 12 midnight Central Time. And so I let my man go by. I know he going to pick up his daughter. This damn street be funny as hell. It be cars coming down there. Shit. And like it's water everywhere up here. It's a little pond right here. Right down their street. It's a damn pond and shit. There's ponds everywhere up here. To live on water, I mean, if you want to live on water up here, you can get it pretty cheaply. Like a lot of these $1 million houses I was talking about is on the lake. They own the lake houses, where you get 3, 4, 5,000 square feet and live on a big lake. Especially Prior Lake is a bigger lake. It's a thin lake. It's like you can drive a long way because it's thin. It's kind of cool because it's a long way. You know, when you cruise, it's a nice little cruising lake. Where Lake Minnetonka, shit, you can put a damn yacht on that lake. That lake's so big. That's where Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis, I think at one time Prince had a house out there too. But when people, a lot of the celebrities used to live out there. So them is some real deal houses. The most expensive house in this area, I think, was out there. It was a $14 million house. And that ain't the baddest house out there. It cost the most, but it wasn't the nicest. It's a 22,000 square foot house out there. Got its own bar, four stories. This house is a building. It ain't just a house, it's a building. It's the baddest house, I would say, Wisconsin, but it's another house. Yeah, that house is super bad. And that house is a $10 million house that went down to $4 million. 18,000 square feet, an elevator in the house. I mean, the house is magnificent. And it sits on Lake Minnetonka. But it went up damn near 6 now. Originally 10 million, went down to like 4.5. Imagine you can get that mug and the price keep going up. Your 5 million be 10 million. Because a lot of times you buy a house, they give you its worth, and a lot of times you buy in the house, the value will go up because you bought it. People hip to that. Because you get an assessment. They assess the house. A lot of times your assessment will be a little higher after you buy the house. So you make money. I like the last house we bought, within 2 months of buying the house, it jumped up 10 grand. But the house we bought then, and that house was only 3,400 square feet, but it was like a 4-level house. Not 4 stories, but 4 levels. But we paid $335 for that house, and that house is about $500,000 now. So, but my daughter's mother is an idiot. She let her friends that she don't even speak to now influence her. And then that's another problem with relationships that people don't know is these outside influences. People influence relationships, and you don't, you have to realize, why they are so hostile to one or another. And she didn't realize that these people was jealous of her. And here she, just moving in the area, and all of a sudden she has the nicest house, and her former best friend used to be where everybody wanted to go to socialize, and all of a sudden we had a place where everybody wanted to socialize. So all that poison they threw on me, spoiled her mind. And instead of believing in me, she believed in her friend. As I said before, she wanted to sell that LuLaRoe bullshit, which is nothing but a pyramid scheme. And I told her this shit wasn't going to work. Told her that she didn't have it in her to sell shit. So she ended up having to buy me out. And then she stayed in the house for a year and ended up having to short sell it her damn self. Lost like a motherfucker. She didn't make any money on the house. Damn near lost. And now she ain't even cool. Now she got another house that's next door to her ex-best friend. They hate each other. But it was something I told her 5 years ago. That these people don't care for you like that. But live and learn. Live and learn. That's all. I've been in my apartment for 5 years now. So, I ain't mad at it. It's home. And I'm cool with it. I'm cool where I'm at. I'm joyful where I'm at. It's cold. Well, it says 51 degrees now. It's freaking cold. It's cloudy and rainy and wet. But you best believe I'm gonna play pickleball in the morning. Uh, which sports look more legit? I made YouTube on Magnus. Okay, splashed. I'm gonna have to look up. And then Infinite Consciousness, Jonathan's channel was shadow banned. I thought I was subscribed to him, but I'm not. And I looked him up and I can't find him. So, um, but okay. Which sport is legit? None of them. None of them. You know, the thing I've been saying, and you know, Lobo even uses it, which is spot on because this is the thing is if you bet on the sport, that's horse racing, Jalai, for those in Florida know what that is. That's always been, you know, that you always been able to bet on that. Every sport though, if you car racing, if there's a wager on it, it's fixed. Now, when I played college sports, the only betting I knew about my team, North Carolina A&T, was local betting. I never knew or never saw it have a national line. But now I made a video about, you know, a black college or whatever HBCUs you want to call it. I showed a video point shaving in a black college. One of my videos from like a year, like last or 2 basketball seasons ago, showing where the point spread was done. You could see it. And so it's almost all Division I basketball programs are fixed. The games is fixed, every one. Because again, if it's a betting line on it, then the game is fixed. As I said before many times, my father told me, he's like, they ain't gonna let, like he asked, my father had a statement about boxing. He would say, they ain't gonna let 2 niggas decide who gonna get all this money. So that's kind of how it goes. They ain't gonna let the players decide who wins. It ain't the players who decide that. It is the bookmakers, it's the league. Like when they release the schedule, that's the script. They already showing you the script when they release the schedule. And already it's the big head Yakub is in his office, you know, looking at playing the video games. I mean, you don't think, you know, the video games got a thing, a part of it? Look at every Super Bowl. Every Super Bowl, they show you the video game now before the Super Bowl. They show the who won the Madden before the game. So that's still real. That's still a real I'm trying not to say thing, but that's something that still exists. So, well, I'm gonna head off to work in a minute. United Drills of America, what's happening, my man? Black Trunks, what's happening? Thank you for joining. Oh yeah, the Celtics. But yeah, it's definitely rigged. All sports is rigged. Ain't none of them legit. All of them is rigged. So, but just bet. I mean, it looks like the parlays tonight and the parlays, you know, tomorrow really look good. So, you know, follow the numbers, and you know, good luck. So this is Responsible Daddy Hour. Gave a little bit of sauce about relationships and how to do it. 38 free throws to 14. Yeah. And that's, you know, that. But it's funny. We saw the first game they lost in Boston. We saw Boston get more free throws, but still get blowed out. Well, I got to go to work. So it's Responsible Daddy Hour. Till we meet again, I'm gonna be on tomorrow night, midnight, unless the game funky. But again, I'm gonna get home, you know, probably not to the 4th quarter. So say less.